Hey good people, it is Tashira from Politics and Fashion here today with the video that you all recommended. It is all about how to find timeless and long-lasting pieces at affordable price points. And now I know affordability is a subjective concept, but for the most part, I'm talking about being able to shop at those fast fashion brands like Zara, Boohoo, Pretty Little Thing, and others, and ensuring that those pieces that you find there are going to stand the test of time, okay? I shop everywhere, girl. I do. I have pieces that I've had in my closet forever from Goodwill. I will get something quick at Target, but Target, as my mama says, okay? I will grab something from Neiman Marcus and then stop by the Dollar Tree for a pair of earrings. Don't play with me. I will shop everywhere because it is a misconception that only designer goods are the ones that have the quality and your non-designer goods are the ones who have low quality, right? Like, you can be in either sandbox at any time. And so, however, what you gotta know, purpose of the video today, girl, what you gotta know is how to shop. What are those basic tips that you need to have in your arsenal so you can pull out the 4-4, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm talking about violence. You can bust through the door, wait a 4-4, okay, on their ass, no matter where you're shopping. Just, maybe that's bad. Ignore that, the violent analogy, okay? I do not promote gun violence. Just so you can have some tips, some tools, sis. That's all I'm trying to say. Let's just start the video. Before I get started, let me tell you what I am wearing today. I'll make sure everything is linked down below, of course. Make sure you are following me over on Like to Know It and on Instagram. Much of what I wear gets repurposed on multiple platforms to shop my Instagram section on my blog, on my website, for example. So I don't want you to miss nothing, sis, okay? If you were seeing me wear it today or in any of my videos, you can find it multiple places because I've looked out for you because we gang. Back to the violent analogies. Anyway, so I am wearing a pair of Natia and Laco earrings. These are from Farfetch. If my code is still available, I will leave it down below. Aritzia crop top, Dior. That was so unnecessary. Dior robe. I am wearing a Valentino V logo belt. This is the smaller version, antique gold hardware, reversible. One side is black, one side is a cream color. And wearing a pair of khaki pants, high-waisted. These are by Loewe. And I really feel like my outfit today kind of speaks to what I'm going to share, because while I am wearing a few designer pieces, also the workhorse of my wardrobe that I talk about with y'all all the time is this Aritzia top. I have a few Aritzia crop tops, and that for me is kind of where I start as a base layer, and then I build out from there. So if that is something that you might be interested in learning more about, again, let's get started with the video. My first tip for being able to find timeless and long-lasting pieces at affordable price points is to know your fabrics. And it's so funny that I mentioned that first because I just did a live on IG, our church announcements is what I call it, and somebody was like, thanks to you, I cannot shop anywhere without looking at the label and looking at the fabrics. And I was like, you're welcome, friend, okay? I talk about this all the time. If I am sharing any kind of like content where I sit down and I'm sharing information, sharing tips, and you have watched those videos, you have heard me say it before. And so at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I'll keep this brief. But let's just all touch and agree. It's Sunday as I'm filming this. Let's touch and agree, y'all, that we're going to start paying closer attention to the kind of fabrication that we are bringing into our wardrobes. If you do that, then it does not matter where you're shopping, because you're almost ensuring that you're going to have a longer lasting piece. You want to look for natural materials, okay? You're going to look for cotton. You're going to look for linen. You're going to look for wool blends, etc. Now, it is going to be difficult to find a plethora of pieces that are all 100% natural, depending on the retailer, because those things are naturally, they can be a bit more expensive, right? And so if any brand, big box store, whomever, online retailer is trying to make money, a simple kind of philosophy of business is low cost to maximize profits. And so that's why we get hit with so much polyester, because it is essentially plastic. It is a man-made material, textile, and it is easy for these mass retailers to get their hands on. And trust me, I am not all anti-polyester. I have quite a few polyester pieces in my wardrobe. It's not the predominance, but there are, you know, man-made materials in my wardrobe. But what I'm saying is, in order for you to not have to shop and consume over again for the same items, what you may want to do is ensure that the fabrication is either 100% natural or naturally derived. So, for example, I'm talking about lyocell, which H&M does a lot of, Tencel, which H&M does a lot of, viscose, which I've seen everywhere from Nasty Gal to ASOS, okay? Those are materials that, while they are man-made, they at least start somewhere along the journey from creation to mass production. Somewhere along that pathway, it has started with something that is natural. Those are also much more likely to stand the test of time. I talk about this a lot with sweaters, y'all. Think about the last time you bought a sweater from a fast fashion brand and you didn't look to see what it was made from. Odds are it's made from acrylic. And odds are when you put it on, it was either very kind of scratchy and almost just like uncomfortable to your skin. And if not that, I guarantee what also happened is when you washed it, it didn't come out the washing machine looking the same way it did when you put it in. Okay? And I don't know about y'all, but you know, I am consistently manifesting wealth. And I can't manifest wealth to the degree that I need to if I'm buying the same things over and over and over again. Okay? So in order to maximize longevity, we have got to pay attention to fabrics. You are so tired of hearing me say this. I am fully aware of that, sis, but you're not listening. Make a different choice today. First tip on our list of how to invest in timeless and long-lasting pieces at all different price points. Number 2 is a good one. This is a really good one, y'all. It is to limit embellishments. To limit embellishments. Now, when I say embellishments, I mean things like appliques, sequins, additional zippers that don't serve a functional purpose. I'm talking about those kind of additives, those accoutrements on a piece that were unnecessary. One might call them superfluous, okay? So these are things that if you go up to a higher price point, likely the labor is going to be there to ensure they have been added to your garment to fidelity, right? They're going to make sure that either there is an individual that is actually hand sewing them appliques on in the case of a lot of the big design houses, or at the very least someone is guiding a machine that is mass producing them that's a little bit kind of more nuanced than your fast fashion brand. Now let me give you an example of this. I remember that I went back home to Florida. I was on an extended vacation and I got down there and I was like, oh, I do create content. And I hadn't planned out much content to shoot out over the holiday break. So I decided, let me just go online real quick. It's not a whole lot of retailers around where I grew up, where I go to visit. And I was like, let me just go on something, Boohoo, Noohoo, somebody, girl, and just get me a little dress, a little, you know, a little look I can finesse it. And so I had an idea for the kind of like shoot that I wanted to do. Got a sequins dress. And what I had not anticipated was $30. And so I knew it wasn't going to be, you know, it wasn't going to be an Oscar de la Renta, girl. But what I hadn't anticipated was that by the time I took it out the package, I put the dress on, I walked to my grandparents' backyard to shoot it, half the sequins had fallen off. And that is what I mean about embellishments and how Fast fashion retailers just don't do those well. They can't. Like, your grandma Mary is not in the back at Forever 21 hand sewing every single, they do that at the ateliers in Paris. It's not what is happening at Rainbow. Trust and believe that. And so it is just much easier for fast fashion or more affordable brands to get that wrong. And so if you were looking for something that's longer lasting, I would just be very conscientious, y'all, about those embellishments. And so just to juxtapose, okay, same retailer, just to juxtapose that sequins dress, I turned around 6 months later and got a cotton bodycon dress. Guess which one I still have? Which one did I put in the washing machine? Still have their threading. Everything is still intact. You already know it's not the sequins dress, it is the cotton dress, because that is what they can get right. Embellishments, I would encourage you to think twice. Now, number 3 is very important, and it's all about knowing your personal style. Because when we talk about what is timeless and long lasting, that can be a very subjective measure. It really depends on how you define your personal style. And I find that too many of us don't have that level of awareness. We may see things online, on social media that we like, possibly if we watch runway shows, if we're really into fashion. We may see things that we like, but we're not always thinking about how can I interpret that into what makes me feel good. What is my personal style? And I talk about the strengths and challenges of each style pillar, how they are defined in my ebook, How to Declutter and Curate a Style That You Love, y'all. I am going to take a moment to plug the ebook, because I think if you are interested in content like this, then the ebook is a great resource for you, right? Like, the YouTube video is ground zero. This is your lecture when you go to class. The ebook is a textbook, okay? That's where you do the homework. And I really feel like knowing your style pillars as they are defined in the ebook is going to be so helpful, y'all, because then you know, as I am buying this thing, whether or not you actually really want to keep it. Do you want for it to be long lasting? I am squarely Elevated Simplicity. That is my style pillar. We have dedicated a street called Elevated Simplicity. I have built a condo. We all meet together in the cafeteria a few times a week and talk about our love for neutrals, okay? That is where I am. That's where you can find me. However, there are other style pillars that also exist. And so with that said, when I think about somebody like Iris Apfel, for example, the OG, triple OG out here, the realest to ever do it, the jewelry that she has, the bright colors that she wears, none of those things would be timeless for me, because I wouldn't want to wear them more than a season, more than 2, right? It wouldn't be my day-to-day way to, adorn myself. But for her, she sees a piece, and the brighter, the better. She understands her style in and out, and she's been like that for years. My best friend Kendra got me her autobiography, like a coffee table book. It is so amazing, and when you thumb through and see pictures of her, she started off, I think, in the textile industry, but you see pictures of her, and you're like, Iris has always been that chick. She's always squarely understood her style. So I encourage you to do the same, sis. Like, really investigate what makes you you, what makes you tick. Who are you as an individual, and how do you want that to be reflected in the ways in which you adorn yourself from head to toe? Then you're really going to be able to hit that sweet spot of being able to understand, I can shop, as I mentioned, across any single price point. I'm good on any MLK Boulevard. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you're going to be able to do because you know your style. And that is a major key in this whole thing about creating a timeless and also a long-lasting wardrobe. Next up, I am going to encourage you to think about using fast fashion to the degree that you can for some great affordable foundational pieces for your wardrobe. It is rare that I go to fast fashion and I think to myself, all right, I'm about to get out here and I'm gonna get like the bust down piece that's on the website. Sometimes you can do it. And if you are dedicated to that thing, because I've seen content creators that can do a Walmart haul, but for me, where I am the most comfortable, and if you are more like me, I would encourage you to do the same. Stick to the more foundational pieces, right? I just got a great, well actually I got two great blazers. One is a long black blazer that I wore for Fashion Week, and I got that from H&M. I had told you all in a previous video that I was you know, very much invested in the idea of luxury minimalism, and I had one black blazer and that was going to be it for me. I broke that rule only because the black blazer I have from Saint Laurent it's not a long blazer, and I knew that I wanted to be able to wear a longer blazer that covered my hips, covered my butt, to go along with the Dries Van Noten pants. I have since worn that blazer again, actually wore it a couple weeks ago, went shopping, then out to dinner with a friend, and I just said, okay, this little H&M blazer, she gonna be the gift that keeps on giving. She even almost has like a bit of a Balenciaga hourglass fit in that the waist is a very much tailored in, and I just think H&M hit that out the park. H&M does great foundational pieces, they really do. And then I got a white blazer from Zara, I think maybe the week after or the week after that. And again, I think Zara does great blazers as well. Y'all let me know down below, because I've heard the girls mention, you know, I got a good Zara blazer. I feel like if you are looking for that kind of foundational piece, if you are paying attention to limiting the embellishments, for example, and if you have an eye towards longevity, you can buy some great pieces. I also have a pair of black pants that I got from Zara years ago. They are high-waisted and they came with a belt. Now let me just say this. They are my favorite pair of black pants for sure. The only caveat that I have to them, y'all, is that they came with a belt. And the belt loops are really wide. And so you can't really wear them with another belt unless you have another wide belt, right? So they came with a belt, and because it's fast fashion, the belt is made from, feels like paper or cardboard on the inside of it. Not very well made. And so over the years, the belt has started to break down, unfortunately. So that's a little sad. I kind of wish I would have gotten a pair that maybe didn't have those belt loops. But I've already found their replacement from Pixie Market, which is a great brand to find foundational pieces as well. They're just a little bit of a higher price point than Zara. That's the only thing. But nevertheless, my point still remains the same, right? I found a great basic that I've had for 4 years, 3-4 years from Zara, okay? So when you have an eye towards that white button-down shirt, that great pair of denim, girl, you can find Abercrombie, y'all been telling me about. Mango, I think I love their denim. Like, when you have an eye towards those foundational pieces, and you know that you're shopping on a budget, or maybe you just don't want to break the bank, or you want to have kind of a few backup items in case the other piece, you know, falls apart, or, you know, like in the case of a white button down, maybe it gets stained. I have 3 for that purpose, okay? So if you have an eye towards that, I think you will do well, especially if you are keeping in mind my other tips, like limiting the embellishments and paying attention to the fabrics. And my last tip is to note the finishings, y'all. Please pay attention to the finishings. And I know that can be hard to do with the shopping online, but I want you to pay attention to how the garment is stitched. Where is the zipper placed? Is it a zipper or is it button? Are the buttons covered? Those types of things, whether you believe it or not, are what our eyes naturally go towards. So if we're looking at a well-made garment versus a not so well-made garment, it is the finishings that are likely taking that item over the top, okay? I think about some of these fast fashion retailers, for example, that are creating items with cheap buttons on it. You know, I got a pair of pants from H&M, I will never forget, and they were like a high-waisted pair of oatmeal colored denim. The cut, everything was great, but they had this big silver goofy looking button right in the front, and I'm somebody who likes to either wear a crop top, or if y'all notice, I tuck all of my tops in. That button drove me so crazy until I stopped wearing the pants. Now obviously I could have gone to a tailor or myself. I'm not gonna do that, that's a lie. I would have gone to a tailor and had them to switch the button out. So if you were that dedicated to your wardrobe, feel free to do so and know that you can change that kind of thing. But for the most part, I go back to the fact that that's the kind of corner that a fast fashion brand is going to try to cut, because it's going to save them money. All right, and so what happens is it saved the retailer money. We had bought it for $20. We get home and it looks like it costs $5. So we're the ones at the loss. We really are. And so notice also hemlines. Is it double stitch? Is it single stitch? Is the threading already starting to peek through and you haven't even gotten it out of the store yet? Girl, that means it is not going to last. And I should mention, y'all, while I am, talking often about fast fashion brands, I want to once again remind you, as I said in my opening, okay, that there are some designer brands that don't get this right. I have a Versace white button down with gold buttons. Fell in love with the buttons. Y'all know I love gold. Got it from the outlet. Came home and already 3 of the buttons have popped off. I'm going to have to take it to the tailor and have her just to remove all the buttons and to reattach them. So I don't at all mean to say that the designer brands always get it right. But as in the example that I've already given, designer brands have more of a chance of getting it right, and fast fashion brands have more of a chance of getting it wrong. Okay? So make sure you are really noticing how your garment is finished before you invest in it. And that is it, good people. Thank you so much for watching my video all about how to ensure that your affordable pieces are timeless and long lasting. What did I miss? What do you keep in mind as you were shopping across price points? I would love to know. Make sure you leave a comment down below. The ebook will also be linked down below, as well as what I am wearing. In the meantime, girl, thank you for being part of the tribe. I so appreciate you. Give the video a big thumbs up, and I will see you good people across the internet. Peace.